So today I got to go gliding for the first time, and it was pretty chilly out. But I sat out on the runway and I took a lot of photos of the tow planes and the gliders coming and going. Once they got them up to loft, they could get them up to about 2,000 feet. The ceiling was fairly low due to weather, but it was pretty cool sitting here watching the tow plane come and go. And there were definitely some professionals on the field who really knew what they were doing and had their own glider. They had some newer gliders and some pretty old gliders out on the field. This is the one that I was going to be in. It was made in 1946 or so, and all in all, it seemed like a fairly well-made bird. The instructor I was there with told me that no amount of stalling on my part was going to prevent this from happening. So I buckled on up, and off I went. This is the full version of this video, which means it's actually fairly long. There are pictures during the flight. You'll hear a shutter sound and a picture will be still for a second, and there's a lot of chit-chat between me and the pilot. He was a nice guy.
So when he gets the rope taut, I'll wag my rudder, and that's going to give him the sign.
Okay.
It says we're ready to go.
And we are recording. This is
Trying
awesome.
to dig my phone out of my pocket there.
I'll send him a text message, go.
No. I was going to try and see what time it was. I guess we'll have to see what we can get as far as lift over there.
Hmm.
We'll get over there next to the mountain. See if there's some lift going off there.
And we're off. Cool. It's breezy in here.
Is it?
That's okay. It's all right. I'm okay. Little chilly. That's what I get for doing this on a 30-degree day.
Well, it's kind of a winter sport.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever had to land in some of these other fields?
Yeah, I have.
Farmers probably don't like it, huh?
Well, it depends on their personality, I guess. Some of them think it's cool. Yeah, some of them are, obviously if you damage crops, it's not cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's their money. It's amazingly quiet compared to the...
I know, isn't it? You don't have to have a headset and stuff.
Yep. I mean, you can hear the wind. I imagine the higher quality, the ship
Right,
had the
yeah,
quieter.
basically. Something that, you know, these racing gliders, anytime you hear wind, that means it's some kind of drag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like something that's built for racing is going to be pretty quiet.
Like you said, though, that's the big money at that point.
Yeah, I mean, but like we already kind of established, like it's hopefully money that you're not going to lose, because when you sell, you're obviously going to lose like the tax and stuff. That's one reason not to buy and sell a lot. But some of these people actually set themselves up as a dealer, so they don't have to pay for stuff like tax.
That's smart.
So you see the red knob on the dashboard?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you pull it, but what we'll do is I'll count to 3.
Okay.
I'll have you pull it on 3. I'm going to wait until we get a little closer to the slope over here.
All right.
Tell you what, go ahead and grab onto it.
Got it.
And give it a pull.
And they're off.
Get over next slope and see if we can find some guys in there.
So I noticed you don't have the thing that makes a lot of noise.
The engine?
No, not the warbly thing that, I don't know what they call it.
Oh, a variometer?
Variometer, okay.
Yeah, there's one on the dash. See those two right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one on the right and one on the left. There's no speaker.
Oh, I see.
So they're...
Oh, okay. How does that... So you can actually watch this to see what your lift is?
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. We're really close. That's awesome. Do you have the same instrument panel back there?
Have I what?
Do you have the same instrument panel back there?
I'm just looking at the yours.
Oh, okay.
It's cool to see that frost on the trees.
That is cool. Hovering right below the clouds. So you can kind of feel, is that an uplift I'm feeling?
Yeah, that little bumpiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably like parcels of air that are being carried up the slope.
And I assume you turned around right then because we were going into a cloud.
Yeah, the widest part of the ridge here is probably where the lift is working the best. In fact, our area is showing positive there, like 100 or 200 foot a minute up on the electronic one.
Oh, okay.
So the one on the right has a little battery in it. It's kind of more sensitive.
Yeah.
And then the one on the left is a mechanical.
How does that work?
So there's a flask, basically it's like a thermos. And when the pressure goes into the flask, it knows, and if it goes out, it knows that it registers positive or negative.
That's interesting, okay.
So it's sort of like a sealed pressure vessel. And then
what's the normal season for this? I mean, like summer?
well, we
Spring?
fly year round because we have this ridge line. So when in the wintertime a front comes through, we can make use of the wind that's blowing up the slope.
Yeah.
And in the spring, summer, and fall also we have thermals. We have some thermal days in the winter, but they're not. You can't count on them like you can through the warmer months. But thermal is basically the other kind of lift we use. So we use ridge lift and then thermal lift.
Ridge and thermal.
So we can fly year round, but yeah, generally it's spring, summer, fall. In fact, some places they'll quit flying during the winter time, but we're lucky enough to have a ridge line.
How far that way can we go?
I don't know about today, but we can fly end to end on the ridge about 20 miles.
And how high is this here? You can't see the top, so how much higher does it go?
It goes about 2,700 feet at the top of the little hill slope there.
That's not bad. So you get up and over that all the time, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, some days when we'll fly to 6,000, 8,000 feet over here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like the frost.
That's cool, huh? This is actually cool. There's a cliff that will show up here in a second. As we come around here, it makes for a neat picture. You see that cliff?
Oh,
there?
yeah.
That's cool.
It's a little hazy. It's hard for my camera to focus.
And then sometimes they want to see the canopy. The camera.
Oh, yeah.
If it's autofocus, they'll focus on the canopy sometimes.
Well, I can turn that on and off, and
I was just checking that. Vario shows we're going up again. See it?
Yeah.
400 foot a minute. Right
400 foot. Then you can just do this all day.
Yeah, potentially, as long as the wind's going, you can just motor back and forth right this slope lift.
Do you have to count hours? I mean, do you write a log, or how does that work?
Yeah, basically you keep track of your time, just like you would in a power plane.
Huh. Well, I'll bring you mine. You're PIC.
Yeah.
You can write in mine.
Well, we can put the airport identifier in the type of glider that you flew in.
Oh, that's cool.
So that if you do any more glider flying, you'll know what you were in and stuff.
God, I have to think my wife would love this.
I think everybody should do it at least once. You know what I mean?
Well, Tim was saying I should get Sarah to take her up.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that you can fly with her, I'd rather fly with her too.
Well, I assume
But
so.
yeah, I mean, for girls and stuff,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to see that, you know, a gal does this stuff.
Had you? I mean, what? This was your idea, but she has adopted it, right?
No, this is her business.
Oh, okay.
I actually came here in 2006. She's run the business since 03.
Oh, wow. So she got you into it, huh?
I actually came here myself, just like you, to check it out, and I ended up taking lessons and stuff, and next thing you know, we got married.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in my 30s. It's a time in life where you're like sick of hanging out with guys.
I hear you.
So it's like, here's somebody I want to hang out with, so then next thing you know how it happens.
Yeah, I do.
I was laughing with somebody the other day, like, I've got a buddy who, he says, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but if you gotta do it, go ahead and do it. Talking about marriage.
Marriage, yeah.
If something you think you gotta do it, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Spoken like a married man.
Right, yeah. Says you go to University of Texas there in Austin?
I did some community college. I was in the Army. I went the Army route, so.
Okay, cool.
Got out of the Army, did some community college, thought about going to UT, but meh. It really didn't fit in with what I do for a living, believe it or not. I was employed and making money.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what, man. If I had it to do over, I'd do aviation maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
A 2-year degree in aviation maintenance, because I don't use any of the stuff I went to school for.
You know, it's weird. No one does. Like,
Yeah.
I know a bunch of programmers who, one of them was an English major, one of them was an electric engineer, one of them was an art history major. They're all programmers. None of them use what they went to school for.
Right.
I think anymore, college just means you're trainable. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that, and then you spent some time, like you went to the military.
Right.
You spent some time growing up there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what the military was good for. It made me not a child anymore.
Right, and that's what.
I mean, I'm still a child. Don't get me wrong.
Well, you want to stay one, but school
Right.
gives you time to mess around and get some of that stupid stuff out of your system, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't use it either. I mean, I enjoy learning and stuff. So, like, when I started learning to fly, it was something that, and that's the other thing that struck me about aviation is cool because, like, it's not college, but you can stair-step your way on up to any level. Check it out, there's like a little trail.
I see that, yeah. That's
It's a
kind of
little
neat.
hiking trail.
Is this part? That's not part of the Appalachian Trail, is it?
No, the AT is a little further over.
That way? Okay.
You drove over it? No.
Well, I had to have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've hiked that at what the heck's the name of that darn park? Darn my brain. Anyway, there's a park that I go to all the time over there. I like it. It's very nice.
Yeah, this area is pretty awesome, man. I mean, Texas has got some cool mountains. I grew up going to Big Bend and stuff.
Oh yeah, Big Bend, sure.
I love that area, but I really like these mountains too.
The thing is I'm complaining that I'm a little cold, but God, I'm happy that I'm cold. Texas is always hot, and that's
true. It doesn't change much.
No, and we lived in God, that's pretty. Jeez, oh, gorgeous. But we lived, in a place where it's 100 degrees for 6 months out of the year,
Yeah.
and it gets up to 110 for 30 days at a time. That sucks.
Yeah.
You could literally stay up here all day.
Yeah. I mean, given the right conditions, people fly hundreds of miles in ridge lift and thermals. I mean, you can find stuff on the internet. You know, these guys, they fly to Pennsylvania and back from Tennessee.
Jeez.
In the ridge system. So the Hawks use this same type of lift right here to migrate.
Right.
So they can use those same kind of pathways in gliders and fly hundreds of miles.
The only downside is you have to have a way to get aloft again when you get where you're going.
Yeah, well, it's unpredictable, you know, and that's kind of like the adventure of soaring, is that you just never know really how it's going to end up. You may end up in a farmer's field.
Yeah. Well, typically, how far do you go, or do you just stay right around the port?
It depends. Like, if I'm flying my own glider, I'm starting to fly more cross-country now. You know, I've not flown some of the long flights that some of these guys have been doing it for a longer period of time have flown, but I've flown for hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the ceiling's a little lower that way, huh?
Yeah, it's coming down on you.
This end's a little higher.
It's too bad it was so cloudy today. It would have been nice if the weather was better. I may have to come back and do this again when the weather's better.
Well, you live close enough where
Yeah, not far.
you take advantage of it. I don't see the other glider, but they're up here somewhere. I don't know if they're over here with us, but there is another glider airborne right now, so we want to keep our eyes peeled.
I was looking. You kind of get used to keeping your head on a swivel.
Yep. How your feet doing? Cold?
No, my feet are good.
Yeah.
My right hand is cold, so I've kind of put it in my jacket a little bit.
Hear you.
Yeah,
there's no heat in gliders. That's the other thing, right? But as I tell people, if you crash the sailplane, you're not going to burn. There's no fuel on board.
No fuel.
I like that. It's one of my attractions.
I think it's one of my wife's fears is the crashing aspect of aircraft, and I keep telling her the most dangerous part about flying is the drive to the airport.
Yeah.
Most people don't believe that.
Well, like I said, the crashing doesn't bother me, it's the burning.
Yeah, I don't want to burn either. Yeah, I don't want to burn. I think that's probably just about every sane person's worst fear is burning.
It's cool in the wintertime, you can see all those rock bands and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the frost.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have to worry about any frost collecting on these wings?
I've heard some guys say that they've flown up here and gotten ice on the wings before, but I've never seen that.
Well, the temperature's right. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, if there was moisture, like wet, liquid.
Liquid, yeah.
And I've flown in snow a lot before.
Oh, that's cool, I bet.
Yeah, it is neat. And it's really cool to see it going up around you. So like it'll get caught in an updraft.
Yeah.
You'll see it going up around you.
So you guys do everything in miles per hour, not knots. That's interesting.
Well, they're different. You'll see kph, knots, and miles an hour in gliders. A lot of the gliders, the European manufacturers put kilometers per hour and stuff in it. But yeah, they're different.
Huh. And this has a VNE of 140. That you got to be going pretty damn fast to get there. It's pretty steep, I imagine. Yeah.
So that's the Chilhowee River there.
Oh, okay.
It starts over in Murphy. I don't know if y'all been up there, but
yeah, we drive basically just shy of Murphy. The way I come here, Murphy's just to the right.
Yeah. And then there's a lake up there, Chilhowee Lake, I guess, and then it works its way this direction, and then out into the Tennessee, into the valley there.
Very cool. How far away do you say we are from those trees?
I don't know. I'm not real good with numbers, but I'd say at least 50 feet or something.
Yeah, 50 to 100
Some
feet.
people get really close. Actually, the closer you are to a ridge when it's weak,
Yeah,
the more concentrated that lift is going to be.
sure.
So some people, have to, at some points, you have to get really close. But you also want to have some leeway.
Just in case.
Yes.
Yeah. I should be taking more pictures, but I'm just enjoying the view.
Yeah, totally.
How many rides do you end up doing a day?
Well, this time of year it's obviously not as busy as maybe in the summer.
Right.
Kids are out of school and stuff, but on a really busy day, I'll fly sometimes 14, 16 rides in a day.
Wow, that's great. Pays for itself, I assume, or I hope.
Well, it's a lifestyle more than it is a living, but like the airport's been here for 40 years because we're in like an area that people vacation in, so the ride business does keep it going. But yeah, if it weren't for that big road down there in the National Forest and all the people that come for the Chilhowee and stuff,
Right.
it probably would have disappeared years ago, but it's kind of unique. I mean, although there are a lot of commercial operators and clubs for gliders all around the country, in this area, this is the only commercial, I think, operator.
Yeah, I think Tim was saying there's one in Gainesville, or a club maybe.
Yeah, there's a club down
Okay.
there. I'm trying to keep an eye out for that other sailplane. I'm going to head back. Oh, there they are on the runway. So you see the sorry.
That's all right,
the
that's all right,
airport
that's
there.
Okay.
I tell you what, Jace, go ahead and take the controls.
Yeah.
And fly us over toward the hangars there. We'll cross over midfield. I'm going to do the rudder pedals.
Okay.
And you can fly. Just keep us around 60 there.
Okay.
And we'll cruise over that direction.
Not used to having a yoke.
Right, yeah, I know. It's different, huh?
Oh, it's sensitive too.
Yeah, she's for a big glider like this. It is really sensitive, actually.
How old is this bird?
She was built in 62, I think.
Oh, good. Nothing wrong with it.
Nope. I always tell people that, airplanes are like instruments. If they were built really well and they've lasted this long, it's a good one.
Yeah.
The Stradivarius, or how old,
Right.
It's been around hundreds of years, right?
For me, I mean, I like the newfangled technology and all that.
Yeah.
It's I like high fancy stuff, but I don't know. Some of the older birds, they've got character.
Yeah, there's a whole group of people who are into vintage, gliders and airplanes.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting subset.
So they haven't taken off
I
yet.
think they're pulling off the runway. I believe they're clearing from.
Yeah,
it
looks like it, yeah. So what's the rule? I mean, on a cloudy day, not cloudy like this, but I mean like during the summer and a puffy clouds, do you try to stay under the clouds? Is that where the lift is? Or
Well, yeah, actually a cloud is a marker for lift. So the warm, moist air of the surface is heated up and it rises and it condenses into cloud.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the top of the lift.
You want me to turn this around, or are we doing?
So actually we'll cruise right across to the river here.
Okay.
And then we'll enter our pattern.
Okay.
But yeah, basically you're looking around and you're using the clues, and clouds are one of them.
Okay.
That kind of show you where a lift might be.
Yeah, I want to learn all that. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun about it. And one cool thing about gliders is you're using like a micrometeorology.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not looking at the big, macro scale weather, but you're looking at weather on a smaller scale that you interact with more.
That's cool.
Tell you what, go ahead and do a 270 here.
Left or right?
Go ahead and turn left. What we'll do is we'll circle into our downwind here. We're going to fly north parallel to the runway. So just keep on coming around here.
A little more?
Yep, keep going. We're going to point that direction.
Oh, I see.
It's 180 more.
Just nice and slow and gentle, not doing a steep turn.
Looking good. So we're gonna head right up about
On this
halfway,
side of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Halfway between the airport and the river, we're gonna cruise up
Okay.
downwind there.
Got it. I don't know your pattern, sorry.
Yep, that's cool. So we'll just head straight up this way here to the north, parallel to the runway.
A little bit of a crab.
Yep, and we'll go ahead and speed up. You want to get your airspeed right around 70. So
Okay.
I'd put the trim a little further forward too, but
Do you land at 70?
yeah, in this glider we're gonna fly around 70 until we're on our final, and then we'll start slowing down.
Okay.
So through our base turn and our turn to final, we're gonna fly a little faster.
That's cool.
Go ahead and make a right turn onto your base leg.
You want to take it for the base?
Oh, go ahead. I'm shadowing you.
Okay. Okay,
Good job. Looking good. So I've got our air brakes in my left hand. I'm going to pull them out in just a minute, check them. They work.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep going this way. Looking good. I'm going to give you a little bit of air brake.
Alrighty.
Go ahead and
We're still
get us lined up on final.
Alright.
Doing excellent. Line us up on that center line. You can kind of see the more. And I'm going to control our glide slope with the air brake.
Okay.
You keep us on that center line.
Alrighty. Still holding 70.
You going to bleed it off?
Yeah, it's flowing.
Yeah, I'll take it from here.
Alright, your plane.
Let's see if we can slow down a little closer to the clubhouse here.
Tail touched a little first. Is that normal? Touch the tail first?
Yeah, in Europe actually they always teach that way. In the States generally we'll try and end up on the main.
Oh yeah.
But you did awesome, man. That was great.